Revenge films.
This is a story about the hell I endured when I found out about my husband's affair after nursing my mother-in-law until the end. I was married to my husband for 12 years. We got married to each other out of love, but as soon as we got married, my mother-in-law had a stroke and was stuck in a hospital bed. From there, I began nursing my mother-in-law, and instead of enjoying my newlywed life or going on vacations, going to lunch with friends, or going shopping, I didn't have time for any of that. My mother-in-law wasn't a bad person at all, and if anything, she was always very grateful to me. However, she did require a lot of assistance, so I decided to quit my job, and I had my hands completely full with my mother-in-law, so I also didn't have any time to have children of my own. My husband was also busy with work, and he would often come home late, so we left almost all of the nursing to me. But I thought my husband was also working hard for us, so I tolerated it the whole time. After 12 years, when my mother-in-law passed, I had no words, and I felt empty, but at the very least, it was true that I was finally freed from a long time spent nursing. Now I could finally have my own time. I may have gotten older, but I would finally have time alone with my husband, and I would love to go on a vacation with just the two of us. That's what I was thinking, but instead, after my mother-in-law's funeral, shocking words came out of my husband's mouth.
I want a divorce.
Huh? What is he saying? Even though his mother had passed away just days ago, I couldn't understand what on earth this person was saying. What do you mean?
There's somebody else that I'm seeing, and I want to be with that person.
Huh? What do you mean seeing? Does that mean you're having an affair?
I guess that's what that means.
He forced me to nurse his own parent, and he didn't lift one finger to help, and yet he was cheating on me. From there, my ex-husband continued to dump unbelievable bombs of reality on me. What I thought was overtime and hard work all these years was actually just dates with his cheating partner. I was being exhausted of nursing morning until night, unable to take care of myself or the house, and also stuck in a house that smelled terrible as a result of taking care of matters down below. All the while, he was having fun with his beautiful mistress. I'm sure he must have had a great time with that. Because I was taking care of his mother, he wouldn't have to hire any nurses, so the nursing costs were zero. With that extra money, it means that he was enjoying his time with his mistress in hotels and whatnot. Even on days that he said were business trips, he was going on vacations with her, and I couldn't stop shaking. To put it simply, my husband wanted to divorce me much sooner, but if that were to happen, then the person taking care of his mother would also be gone. So he was waiting until she passed away. And finally, his mother passed away, so he had no use for me anymore. All of that alone was already enough of a shock to me, but then, my husband confessed one more thing that shook me to my core. I couldn't believe it, but between my husband and his mistress, there was also a 4-year-old child. Even though I was so busy taking care of his mother that I couldn't have children of my own? It's not at all that I didn't want children, it's just that I wasn't able to. But even then, my husband said,
I couldn't have children with you, but over there, I have my own child. Please, you have to think about that child's future too.
What on earth was I doing for the last 10 years? I wanted every minute of those years back as I was laughing and crying at the same time. I couldn't be around my husband any longer, so I went back to my parents' house, and as soon as I saw their faces, I started crying again. That man, while I was giving my all to take care of my mother-in-law, was cheating on me the entire time. He even had a child! When my parents heard those words, my parents were so furious. I could see the fire around them.
Are you kidding me? Does he have any idea how difficult it was for you to take care of his mother this whole time?
That's right. This is too much. Who does he think you are?
That bastard! I won't let him get away with this!
My parents were angry, but I was just full of regret that I couldn't stop crying. I'm sure my ex-husband just wanted to divorce me as soon as possible so that he could start his new life with his mistress. But my parents refused to let my ex-husband be happy after stomping all over my life like that. My husband was very quick to admit to the affair, so he said that he would pay the settlement fee in the divorce. However, he was only able to save up that money because I had done all of the hard work of nursing his mother-in-law instead of having to hire any help or nurses. That's why there was no way he would be forgiven just by paying that money. My parents called my ex-husband over to their house.
What do you think Heather's life is? A joke? Do you have any idea how difficult it was for her? How hard she worked to take care of your mother? Until her very last breath?
They tried to put their anger into words, but...
Like I said, I'm going to pay the settlement fee. That'll be fine then, right?
My husband lightly tried to reply. My heart still wasn't able to keep up, and all I could think about was why? How I was able to work so hard for over 10 years for this piece of crap. It's not like I was resentful towards my mother-in-law, but towards the middle, her dementia had started progressing, and eventually, she didn't know who I was. And she wasn't even able to go to the toilet normally. I wanted to run away. And countless times I thought how I didn't want to do something so gross. But because she was my mother-in-law, I grit my teeth and did the best that I could. Seeing my parents get so angry for me made me stand back up. Give me back my life. I'm definitely going to destroy his life the way he did mine. From there, my parents and I started working towards a revenge on my husband on his mistress. First, I started by researching his mistress, and I succeeded in finding both her office and her home address. We discovered that the company was the same place where my cousin works, so at the same time as sending the certification of contents, I told her everything that happened. On top of that, it turns out that the mistress was living at her parents' house with her child. To the people around her, apparently she was happily saying, "I'm gonna be getting remarried soon." So, I decided to meet with some of those friends of hers. I apologized to this woman I had never met, but I begged her that I was trying to find just a little bit of evidence of the affair, or if she had heard anything else that could work in my favor. At first, the woman was taken aback, but the more she heard my story, she seemed sympathetic, and began to tell me what kind of things the mistress had been saying on a daily basis. According to the mistress, the two of them had been separated when they were younger because their parents were against their marriage, but their love remained, so they reunited and fell back in love with each other. The reason why they weren't married was because their parents were against it, but she said that the parents seemed like they were coming around pretty soon and they would finally get to be together. In return, I told this woman what kind of life I had been living on a day-to-day basis over the last 12 years, and the woman went completely pale. She had tears in her eyes by the end and said, "That must have been so hard. I think you're an incredible person." We spoke for a little while after that, and in the end she said, "Please keep going. I know that there's a beautiful future waiting for you ahead." And we parted ways. I sent the certificate of contents to the mistress's house, and when her parents found out about the affair, "Get out of this house immediately!" I heard that they were enraged and they kicked the woman out of their house. On top of that, apparently her company was just about to publish a magazine for women with young babies at home. And to have an employee who was having an affair with a married man would be too bad for the company image. Word spread around the fellow moms in the preschool. Apparently, while the wife was nursing her mother-in-law, the whole time they were having an affair. But wait, didn't she tell us that he was the love of her life, but her parents were against it or something? But in reality, it was an affair. I can't believe that. What a piece of crap as a human. The rumors spread quickly, and everybody withdrew from her. And apparently, her child's lost all of her friends too, and they were no longer able to go to the preschool. At the same time, I got my revenge on my husband too. My uncle was actually in the same company as my husband, although in different departments. And when I told him everything about this situation, he was livid. He told everyone, including his colleagues and staff, what a horrible human my husband was. Of course, those rumors spread in an instant, and everybody was talking about what a piece of crap he was. Using the evidence that the woman I met with gave me, I was able to sue the mistress for a very high amount, which my husband found out about. Then he came to me.
What the hell do you think you're doing? This is all your fault!
He came storming into my place yelling, "What are you saying? This is all your responsibility, isn't it?"
You didn't have to open your mouth and tell everyone!
My husband dumped all of his mom's nursing on me, then had an affair and even made a child. Don't you think I would want to complain about that just a little bit? It's not like I told anybody to spread it, so if those people wanted to tell the people around them, isn't that their own right to do so?
Stop making up excuses! She and I have both lost our jobs and our homes! You've made us lose everything!
That's because you had an affair. You didn't think that people might frown upon that and point at you for it? Don't tell me you thought that people would congratulate you for cheating on me. And I laughed in his face. When I saw my husband's face looking so desperate and defeated, the sadness that I felt was a little bit refreshed in that moment. After that, for the 12 years that I lost taking care of his mother, and the fact that I was being cheated on that entire time, and that he even had a child with another woman, I sued the both of them for an amount not even my husband could have imagined, and divorced him. Especially my husband, along with the fact that he was cheating on his wife. The heartless monster that he was became a huge problem, and everybody in his office found out. His colleagues said,
"Apparently this guy dumped the nursing of his own mother to his wife over the years, and he was cheating on her the whole time. And as soon as his mom died, he tried to get a divorce."
Everybody was talking about him, and he was no longer able to go to work. I heard he fell into a depression, and of course, he wasn't able to get remarried in that state. Someone told me he was a shell of a human nowadays, but he only got what he deserved. I know that I can't get those years of my life back, but I was able to get my revenge on the two of them, so at the least, the resentment I felt was redeemed. Little by little, I'm hoping I can enjoy my life and spend plenty of time on myself.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.